my hands, contagious as you think I am.
We, Collective Soul, have a body of work that's 9 recordings. To me, that's the most amazing feat.
Just till my son touch your domain, your cup runneth over again.
To have a body of work is more impressive to me because that means there's more songs, and it actually shows the different areas of my life.
Don't scream about it, don't think about it, turn your head now, baby, just let me out.
We did it for the reasons that we started it, and that was to have fun, not have a real job, and get chicks. Not necessarily in that order either.
Follow me to higher ground. Lost, that is where I am. Don't throw away your basic needs, ambience and vanity. Songs no longer sing. December promise you gave unto me. December whispers and treachery. December clouds uncovering me. December songs no longer sing. Don't scream about, don't think aloud. Turn your head now, baby, just let me out. You don't worry about, don't speak about. Turn your head now, baby, just let me out. Baby, just let me out. Baby, just let me out.
Growing up was great. My dad was a minister of music first before he was a minister, and my mom played piano in the church. So I always tell it was a house full of love and music. I can remember being 14 and that just hitting me. I wanted to be a songwriter, and I told a buddy that had a guitar at the school that I was going. He was a little country picker, and he's like, well, I got a guitar, I'll loan to you. And I still have the guitar to this day. And he gave me a little Elvis Presley book that showed chords, how to learn. So I knew right at that moment, once I started being able to get the chord progression right, that's what I wanted to do. And I started writing immediately. And I became the singer out of default because nobody else would sing.
Restaurant to the peaceful side of town. Then proceeded where thieves were no longer found. I can't crash now. Yeah, I've been waiting for this. I won't crash now. I found some encouragement. This is declaration. This is your mind. You leave alone now. This is declaration. I might leave my hope. This get along. Within my veins, elements of freedom. Do meaning to the word freedom. I can't break down. Yeah, I've been living for this. I won't break now. Cleansed with hopefulness. This is declaration. This is yours and mine. You leave alone now. This is declaration. I believe my hope is dead alone. Once I jump through hoops of fire, why and more as you require. I was blind, but now I see. Salvation has discovered.
When I graduated high school, I went to Berklee College of Music. So it was cool to go to Berklee just to be around different players and be able to go to the rehearsal rooms and just learn from each other. And I remember talking to a postman. I was walking along the streets of Boston and just started a conversation. And he said, he went to Berklee and graduated. And I was like, wow, why aren't you doing anything in music? He said, I wanted to be a songwriter. And I said, that's what I want to do. And he goes, they're not going to teach you that. He said, go experience life. If you want to learn technical or theory and things like that, it's great, but they're not going to really teach you songwriting. You got to live that. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Cliff Clavin got me out of college. So when I came home, I started working at Reel to Reel Studios. It was at the time an 8-track studio in Stockbridge that Will's father, who's the bass player in the band, owned. So for 8 years, I sat there, and when there was downtime, I would do my own songs, and it helped me learn production. It's like being a painter to me. You got all the right colors, and then it was your turn to paint. So that's why I've produced all the records. The guys have always been nice enough to let me do it. It's an easy band to produce. Everybody knows each other so well, and musically, you know, after 20-something years, we should have figured it out by now, which I think we have.
This world you write for me. falls on me, it brings me down. The more you wait, it falls on me, it falls on me.
First band I was in was a band called Premier. They came in the studio and I recorded and they needed a lead guitarist, and I was like, I played lead and got the gig. I just hated playing covers, so within 2 weeks I talked them into just playing my songs. From there I went on to start a band, Marching Two-Step. After Marching Two-Step, a buddy of mine, Matt Serletic, and I were working. He was doing cruise ship bands, and Matt, he went on to run Virgin Records, and he's done a lot of great things. He and I just kept digging in the studio, and it really wasn't a band. It was a batch of demos made over a 5-year period in a basement. Finally, I was like, I just want to do some shows, and Will grew up across the street from me. Shane and Will were best friends, and they were doing like college frat parties, but they'd let me jump up and do like 4 or 5 originals, you know, and the kids didn't know any different. They were drunk, they didn't care. We'd just go, hey, it's a new Clash song, and they're like, woo, play Shine. They're like, that's the greatest Clash song ever. Brother Dean was going to Georgia State, and there was a 100,000 watt station out in 88 that would play local music. I gave him the CD and I said, tell him to play Good Night, Good Guy. And thankfully they said no, they started playing Shine. So all of a sudden, commercial radio stations started playing it, and literally we had a hit before we had a band. So I was like, Shane, Will, and my brother Dean, he wasn't even in a band. I was like, all right, here's the band, let's go. I'm not a great storyteller. I do write about something that happens to me directly or indirectly, but I don't think it fits what Collective Soul's been known about. To be too direct would not be true Collective Soul lyrically. At the end of the day, I'm just glad it came out, whatever it is. And I didn't know Shine was going to be what it is. I look back on it and I think it's a good song, but I don't think it's the best song I've ever written, so I don't know how to judge it. And if I'd have known that, I sure as hell would have done it a lot sooner. My dad asked me this a long time before he passed. He was like, you know, it's a prayer. And I said, nah, it's not a prayer. You know, I never thought about it. Now I look back at it, you know, when I wrote it, it was a time, I don't want to say of desperation, but, you know, I was 30 years old, and that's not a good age to get signed in rock and roll. And I think just me sitting down, just saying, hey, where do I need to go? Everything's cool, but something's got to change. Just lead me, guide me. So I actually appreciate my dad kind of waking me up to what I wrote the song about. And it truly is like a prayer. And we're not a religious band. We're not a Christian band. I'll make sure we're clear about that. Spirituality's cool, so separation of church and rock and roll.
Myself a newfound beauty, sitting alone in New York City, and I don't know why.
We took a break before we did this last record, and I think that's the first time we all had time to get away and kind of look back and go, that was just crazy. It was fun, but at the time your adrenaline's going so hard. You know, at one point I think we did 25 shows in 22 days, and we just didn't know any different. We would rehearse in my parents' basement, go on tour with Aerosmith, come back, and we still didn't know we could get a rehearsal space. We're like, well, let's go to Mom and Dad's basement again, rehearse, go out with Van Halen. It was just so much happening so fast. We were catching up to a song, and then after that, it just started domino effect. Every song we released seemed to just do better and better and better, and we just kept grinding. But after a while, the adrenaline wears off, and exhaustion comes in, and then, you know, fights, bitterness, and just all kind of negativity. So that's where the taking a couple of years off really helped. Because my brother's in the band. It's very much a family affair. So we consciously made the decision to just step away for a second, and it helped. helped a lot. This is the best we've ever gotten along. We enjoy it. I think it shows in the new music.
Are you the answer to all I need? Are you the answer for me? I've no memory of this life you see. I'm a newborn on your company. I'm just finding out, I'm just questioning. Are you the answer? Are you the answer for me? Are you the answer to all I need? Are you the answer for me? Are you the answer? Are you the answer? Are you the answer? The answer for me. Speak to me in tongues and share. Tell me how you love to hate me. Tell me how you love to care. Life just shakes up. Well, I just want to shake up. Well, let's move and make it well. We'll come together now. Yeah, let's go. Close me in any fashion. Glitter to so many. Tell me how you love to change me. Tell me how you stay the same. Life just shakes up.
Our drummer is Johnny Rabb. At one point was the fastest drummer in the world. He was in the Guinness Book of World Records. And I'll never forget, we were looking for a drummer. This was about 3-4 years ago. And Will goes, should we have him audition? I was like, that dude is so overqualified. I don't know if he would take it. Afterwards, we, of course, did the Southern Gentleman thing, took him out, got him drunk, and made him join the band. And then Jesse Triplett, our lead guitarist, Georgia boy, kind of grew up where my parents grew up. We met, and I just knew his energy and youthfulness and just wanting to rock, and he plays with feel. And Dean and Will and I needed that. Will, the bass player, I always kind of call him the band director. He's trained, he missed like 1 or 2 classes left to graduate with a music degree at Florida State. Instead, he came out on the road with us. So I made him honorary band director of Collective Soul, make him feel better. Like I said, I've known Will my whole life. They're all 10 years younger than I. And of course, my brother. Dean's a thinker. You know, I'm the hippie dude, and he wants to overanalyze it. We like to say, so it's good for us. It's a yin and yang, and we bring it together, meet halfway somehow. I'd like to think of me first and foremost as a father and a husband. Growing up where I did, and like I said earlier, I had a house of love and music. I want to create that same thing, at least love. If they want to jump in on music, that's good, but there's music in my house. The studio's there, there's 150-something guitars, amps, pianos. It's a fun house. I don't know if it's that growing up a preacher's son, but it's a house that's always open. I go back to we just wanted people to know we still love what we do, we're appreciative, but we're having fun, and we love guitars, and we love guitar solos.